How did the promised Messiah and Mahdi, she says, discovered that he is the Messiah
Right.
and Mahdi?
You see, if one invents things from himself, then there is no question of any discovery involved. You make a decision and announce it. But if it is an appointment by Allah, then the discovery can only be made if God speaks to someone and tells him that you are that. I have appointed you. So there is no other way. If there is just a feeling, that feeling could be the result of madness or some psychological diseases. It has to be a very clear-cut message from Allah in which there should be no ambiguity. And that is exactly what happened in case of Hadhrat Masih IV. You know, he too, as other scholars believed that Jesus Christ was live, bodily taken up in heaven somewhere, and he's still awaiting his return. That was because he had inherited this view. Sometimes you inherit something and you never question it consciously, you're not awakened to the reality that this is absurd. So he continued to believe until God told him that Jesus Christ is dead and I have made you Christ in his name and his character. That was the most, jolting experience. He was shaken out of this lethargy, of believing in what he had heard. And then when he studied the Quran in the new light, he was surprised how ever could he miss these messages spread all over the Quran. So this is what is happening to the other ulama nowadays. Unless they are awakened, they're shaken out of this lethargic attitude which one inherits psychologically from generations after generations. Unless one is shaken up, new light does not appear, new angle does not, one does not see things from a new angle. And once the angle is changed, then immediately everything becomes so clear. That is what happened to him with regard to his claim to be the Messiah. But his first claim was that of Mahdi. When he created Jamaat Ahmadiyya as such, initiated it and the first bath was taken. That was in March, 23rd of March, 1889. Now this was based on his claim that he was Mahdi. For Mahdi, in fact, there was no real difficulty because Mahdi could be anyone. And people before him had claimed to be Mahdis because Mahdi does not have to descend from heaven. So anyone could make a claim. So did he when Allah told him. As far as the Imam Mahdi, claim to the Mahdiyut is concerned, he was told clearly in his Ilham, and that is why all the ulama flared up and they highly questioned that claim. They said, you are a false man, we don't believe you to be the Imam. And this debate was continued until 1894. Now imagine, he claimed to be the Imam Mahdi in 1889. And when he claimed, the whole world of ulama erupted like volcano. And they said, you're a liar, you're a false man, we don't believe in that, and so on and so forth. Until in 1890, instead of withdrawing his claim, he said, you cannot digest my claim to be the Mahdi. God has also told me that I am Masih al-Ma'ud. That was the end of it. There was a furor in the whole of the Muslim world, and they said, look, the man, he's gone mad. He says he's Mahdi, and also he claims that he is Masih al-Ma'ud. While Masih ibn Maryam is alive somewhere in the heaven, and he is to descend bodily from the heaven. Now, this process was very rapid. Before he made the Jamaat, he had not made the claim to be the Messiah. But Imam Mahdi he was, because it was very clearly stated to him, and in Brahim Ahmadi long before it was said that God would show you, give you two signs. That is the signs of the moon and the sun. But when Messiah, when he was told that he was Messiah, that was the most difficult period of his life. Because he believed that Messiah was a prophet of Allah. And he was an ordinary follower of the Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah in his ummah. How could an ordinary ummati be the Messiah? That was his mental struggle, which kept him so distressed and, with such, sometimes he suffered in pain as to what was happening. He writes about it himself. He says, there was a long period when I suffered quietly. I knew it was a revelation from God, and I couldn't understand myself to be the Messiah. So what I did Ta'weel. I said, a sort of Messiah. I said, look, here people call anybody who cures somebody miraculously that he's a Messiah. So it's just a title. I couldn't be that Messiah which was promised. Then he writes at one place that the wahi of Allah started coming like rain, where you can't deny anything. He said, you are the Messiah. Go ahead and do it. I'm with you. So it was in 1890-91 that he added to this claim of Madhuriyat that he is also Masih al-Maud. Now, that was the end all for his negotiations and friendship with all the ulama of Islam. They said, now, as they say, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. No more. So all right, God is with me. He says, I'm with you. If you're not with me, I don't care.